In the small town of Gatlin, Ethan often dreams about a mysterious girl he constantly draws, despite not knowing her. Feeling trapped, he reflects on his love for books that Trumpers banned and his desire to leave his racist AF town. One day visiting his dead mama's grave, he finds a silver trinket. Next morning, his mom's friend Amma walks in with her Annalise Keating walk. She kisses him good morning. Then he goes to get a ride with his friend, whose widowed mother, Mavis Lincoln, is an end-of-the-world conspiracist. On his first day back at school, his clingy ex-girlfriend Emily Asher says she was hoping to meet up with Ethan during the summer, but he just ghosted her ass. This girl ditzy as hell, telling Ethan not to read books. Ethan meets Lena, a new student. Rumors circulate that her reclusive uncle, Macon Ravenwood, and her family are devil worshippers, but Lena clarifies she's a Duchannes, not a Ravenwood. She tells Emily off, along with her preppy-ass acting friend Savannah. The teacher announces that everyone is going to participate on their racist Civil War reenactment. I wonder what they expect the black people to do. Ethan becomes curious about Lena, noticing the number 104 on her hand. Later, while driving home, boy singing the whitest song ever known to man. He nearly hits Lena stranded with a broken-down car. He gives her a ride and they bond over their shared love of poetry and the loss of their mothers. When they reach her home, Lena refuses to let Ethan in, shutting the gate on him despite his persistence. During a stormy morning, Ethan watches the lightning with Link and some classmates, Emily and Savannah. The girls remark that the lightning has been striking the same spot since Lena arrived. That's why some people are praying. Ethan, upset by their comments, is confronted by Emily. She questions his recent behavior, but Ethan expresses frustration with people judging Lena without knowing her. Emily withdraws her offer to go to the movies, saying they need a break, though Ethan don't give a flying fuck. During class the next day, the teacher asks the students to discuss a character from To Kill a Mockingbird. Emily informs the teacher that her mom prohibited her from reading the book, and Savannah agrees because it's a banned book. Oh, I knew she looked like a young Candace Owens. The teacher says that she got permission for it, but Emily insists that her church doesn't allow it and that her mother doesn't want her to be in a class with a Ravenwood. She explains that it's not right for evil people like the Ravenwoods to be with Christian kids. Ethan tells Emily and Savannah to STFU, but they begin praying, fearing evil. The teacher warns them to stop, but they ignore her. Suddenly, Lena tenses and the classroom windows shatter. The students panic, and Emily and Savannah accuse Lena of being a witch. Ethan, concerned, asks Lena if she's all right, but she ignores him and leaves. Later, Ethan visits Lena's house. The door opens on its own, inviting him in. He's amazed by the interior, and he notices a foot by the door. He finds Lena sitting on the grass and checks if she's okay. Lena giving off that Kristen Stewart from Twilight energy. Ethan makes her smile despite herself. Ethan notices the number on her hand has changed to 79. He recites a Bukowski poem to impress her. As they walk back to the house, Ethan gives Lena a locket. Macon appears, and Ethan introduces himself, and Macon recognizes him as Lila's son. When Ethan asks about his mother, Macon invites him inside. While Macon plays the piano, Lena explains he's upset about the earlier incident with the windows. Ethan reassures her it wasn't her fault, just like the lightning isn't connected to her. Macon reassures Ethan and Lena that he'll handle things with the school. He mentions a saying that Ethan recognizes from his mother, revealing that he knew her through her writing. Macon asks if Ethan plans to become a writer, and Ethan, unsure, responds that he wants to go to college, far from home. Macon, closing his eyes, prompts Ethan to describe a bleak future where he marries Emily, becomes a failure, and ends up a hangman at 64. When Macon opens his eyes, Ethan snaps out of a trance, feeling dizzy, and Lena asks if he's all right. Ethan excuses himself, saying he hasn't slept well. After he leaves, Lena questions Macon, who warns her that friendships aren't allowed and that Ethan is dangerous. Despite her tears, Lena insists Ethan won't return after what Macon has done to him. However, she later sees him outside and joins him. Ethan, feeling awkward, confesses he's been dreaming about her for months. Damn, that's a whole-ass red flag. But since he's semi-good-looking, I'm sure Lena will look past it. He gives Lena the locket, revealing initials and a date from 1863. When Lena mentions her upcoming 16th birthday, touching the locket triggers a vision of their ancestors, Genevieve Duchannes and Ethan Carter Watt from the Civil War. Ethan wakes from the vision and finds Amma, who tells him he was already asleep when she arrived. She mentions the incident at school and advises him to stay away from Lena. Ethan gets defensive, insisting it's not her concern. When Amma notices him fiddling with the locket and asks where he got it, Ethan says he doesn't know. Amma, now uneasy, tells him to bury it in Greenbrier and forget about it. But Ethan points out he never mentioned Greenbrier. Ethan returns to the Ravenwood residence and is puzzled to find his car near the gate, even though he already entered. As he tries to leave, he sees another version of himself entering the gate. Panicked, he runs but falls as the ground darkens and roots him in place. Lena uses her powers to dispel the darkness and brings Ethan inside to rest. She explains her family's powers and reveals that Macon's spell protects her when he's away from the house. Ethan asks Lena if she's a witch, but she corrects him, saying she's a caster. She explains her growing powers, which cause the classroom windows to shatter, and admits she struggles to control them. When Ethan inquires about the locket, Lena reveals that something happens when they touch it together, but she doesn't fully understand it. Curious about her abilities, Ethan watches as Lena magically displays poetry on the walls. She confesses that she's not supposed to reveal her powers to mortals and regrets doing so. Ethan reassures her, and Lena vents about wanting to be normal, tired of being judged by others. Ethan comforts her, leading to swapping herpes, and Lena shares that she's also dreamt of him but didn't believe it was real. Macon interrupts, calling for Lena, and she quickly helps Ethan leave the house. Later, Amma meets Macon in a secluded area, expressing concern over strange occurrences since Lena arrived. Macon insists Gatlin is the only place he can protect her. Amma senses something ominous, suspecting his sister Seraphine's involvement, though she thought Seraphine was gone. She warns Macon to keep Ethan safe and asks about Greenbrier. Macon explains that Lena was distraught while Ethan was unconscious, and when Amma presses him, Macon criticizes her for not knowing despite being a seer, leading to a brief scolding from Amma. Amma informs Macon that Ethan possesses a charm containing Duchannes' power, leading Macon to suspect Seraphine is using Ethan to reach Lena. Amma makes an offering to her ancestors, seeking their help against Seraphine. When Macon asks for their message, Amma grimly states that some things can't be stopped. The next morning, a woman in a BMW speeds past a cop, who gives chase. As she drives, the cop's eyes turn red, his appearance deteriorates, and he crashes his car. Meanwhile, Ethan and Lena enjoy a peaceful date by the town's exit sign. Ethan shares childhood stories and dreams of leaving town with Lena. However, Lena explains she can't leave because she'll soon face the claiming, where her powers will be claimed for either light or dark, depending on her true nature. Lena reveals that Macon, a dark caster, chooses to act as a light caster to protect her. When Ethan asks why Macon can choose but she can't, Lena explains that a female caster's true nature decides for her. Oh, just like how men decide what to do with women's bodies. She shows Ethan her hand, revealing 75 days left until her claiming, and expresses her fear of what she'll become. During a school hearing at the church, parents attempt to have Lena expelled, citing her troubled history. Macon arrives, stunning the crowd as a Ravenwood finally shows up. Macon greets the school head and reverend, defending Lena by declaring that all rumors are false and she must return to school without persecution. When Mrs. Lincoln argues that he can't dictate terms, Macon asserts his authority, reminding them that his ancestors founded Gatlin, giving him control over anything on its land. Mrs. Lincoln denounces him and homosexuals, Democrats, Greenpeace, and socialists. Macon's sassy AF and says she should also denounce her fugly hat. As Macon leaves, the church darkens and everyone vanishes. He hears a woman's laughter and sees Mrs. Lincoln, now possessed by Seraphine, dancing. Seraphine taunts Macon, saying his powers are weakening because he's trying to be a light caster for Lena, though he's truly a dark caster. She insists that the curse will claim Lena, regardless of his efforts. Macon counters that she's uncertain, given she involved Ethan, but Seraphine reveals that Ethan and Lena were destined to meet. She mentions Lena's upcoming birthday, which coincides with the most powerful solstice in 5,000 years, making Lena more powerful than both of them. Macon dismisses her, insisting Lena is too strong to turn dark. Seraphine laughs, saying the curse has already begun. As Macon denies it, the darkness fades, and he finds himself back in the church. I'm surprised he didn't just spontaneously combust. During PE, a woman arrives in a BMW and dramatically approaches Ethan and Link. She identifies Ethan, kisses him, and introduces herself as Ridley Duchannes, Lena's cousin. She got these teens' hormones going cray-cray. Ridley takes Ethan to Greenbrier, putting him under hypnosis. Macon is displeased by Ridley's uninvited arrival and orders her to escort Ethan to the dining room. Ridley greets Lena, who is shocked to see Ethan with her. Ethan tries to speak but is silenced under Ridley's control. At dinner, Macon tells Ridley she's no longer part of the family since turning dark. Ridley taunts that Lena will also turn dark and be cast out. Macon denies this, but Ridley insists the curse has already started. Lena demands to know about the curse, but Macon dismisses Ridley's words. To provoke Lena, Ridley touches Ethan, triggering Lena's anger. The table spins as Lena and Ridley argue, with Lena eventually forcing Ridley out, calling Ethan her boyfriend. Ethan grins at being called her boyfriend before passing out. Boy loves being the submissive type. Macon realizes the curse is real as he observes Lena's affection for Ethan. In her room, Lena apologizes for Ridley, explaining that she's a siren who controls men. She shares that Ridley, once like a sister, was claimed by the dark after running away, leading to tragic events. Later at the movies, Ridley hypnotizes Link, while Lena finds the locket in Ethan's pocket. When they touch it, they see a vision of Ethan Sr. being shot and Genevieve running to him. Genevieve kisses Ethan Sr., enchants a spell, resurrecting him, but the darkness takes over, leading her to end his life. In the struggle, Ethan Sr. grabs Genevieve's locket, causing it to break. A voice introduces itself as Lena's mother, Seraphine, causing Lena to shout in the theater and be mocked by others. Lena and Ethan visit Amma, who says the locket has lost its power. Macon arrives to explain the curse, linking it to their ancestors. He reveals that Genevieve used a forbidden spell to revive Ethan Sr., resulting in a generational curse. Ethan asks why Genevieve killed Ethan Sr. despite loving him, and Amma explains that darkness made her forget. Lena, upset, confronts Macon about his claim that her mother is dead. Macon clarifies that Seraphine, living in darkness, uses others' bodies and doesn't care for Lena, only wanting her to turn dark. He believes Lena can break the curse if she controls her own nature. Macon tells Lena she must part with Ethan to achieve it. Amma warns that Seraphine is manipulating Ethan, and Lena needs to master her emotions to avoid the dark. 2 weeks later, Ethan and Lena haven't seen each other. On Halloween, Mrs. Lincoln visits Ethan, claiming to have baked brownies and wanting to chat. I wouldn't be trusting that conspiracy theorist. When Ethan hesitates to let her in, she becomes aggressive and transforms into Seraphine, tempting him with promises about Lena. Ethan escapes and drives to the Ravenwood residence, but Macon, Dell, and Grandma stop him. Despite their attempts to make him leave, Ethan refuses, expressing frustration with Lena's family and Seraphine. He insists they shouldn't be separated and believes Lena won't turn dark. Ethan and Lena then visit Amma, hoping for more information about the locket. They go to Amma's secret library, where they find the Book of Moons. Although the book is blank, it is believed to reveal its secrets to Lena. Oh, this what blind people read. As the days pass, Lena's hand shows decreasing numbers, and she becomes disheartened. She and Ethan argue about the curse, but he encourages her to keep searching and not give up. Lena apologizes and says that Ethan needs to get away from her because she's afraid she'll hurt him. Ethan tells her he doesn't want to be apart from her anymore and is willing to take the risk to be with her. They make out, causing the Gatlin sign to burn due to Lena's powers. Ethan pitching a tent right now. In the Castor Library, Amma and Ethan discuss how Ethan's mother had visited with Macon, who had feelings for her. Ethan is startled when Macon appears at his home, urging him to end things with Lena. Ethan refuses, believing their relationship won't turn evil. Lena hears disturbing voices in the library and locks the door when Ethan checks on her. She tells him she needs to focus and that he distracts her. Looking hurt, Ethan leaves after expressing his love. Lena, in tears, confides in Amma that to break the curse, the one she loves must die, echoing Genevieve's spell. However, Lena is determined not to harm Ethan and views death as both physical and mental, meaning she plans to wipe his memories instead. The next morning, Lena and Ethan take a walk. Lena proposes focusing on enjoying their time together rather than worrying about the curse until her birthday. They share a romantic kiss as petals fall, and Lena says goodbye. Lena does the Men in Black magic on Ethan. Ethan truly forgets about Lena, which leaves Amma in silent shock and devastation. Despite it, Seraphine isn't done. She devises a plan to have Ethan killed, hoping Lena's rage on her birthday will turn her into a dark caster. To execute her plan, Seraphine uses Ridley and manipulates Ethan's best friend, Link. During a Civil War reenactment, Link shoots Ethan. The moment it happens, Lena senses it and rushes to him. She finds Ethan lying on the grass, dying, and her fury intensifies. Seraphine and Ridley are there, pushing her further. Just as Lena's anger reaches its peak, Ethan transforms into Macon. Macon had taken Ethan's place to protect him from Seraphine's plan. Macon's sacrifice costs him his life. His final words remind Lena of the promise he made to Lila to protect Ethan. More than likely, Macon is Ethan's father through Lila, and so basically Ethan and Lena are cousins. He urges Lena to choose her path. Lena decides to become a neutral caster, balancing both dark and light, a rare and powerful choice. After Seraphine's defeat, Lena tries to live a normal life, but Ethan still has no memory of her. 6 months later, after graduating high school, Ethan and Link make plans to leave Gatlin and attend college in New York. At the library, Ethan encounters Lena. They exchange a few words and Ethan notices she's reading a Charles Bukowski poetry book. Their conversation feels eerily familiar, with the same words they had spoken before. A flicker of recognition crosses Ethan's eyes. Lena gives him the book as a parting gift. Later, as Ethan reads the book in the car, he passes the burned-down Gatlin sign, a symbol of a past moment with Lena. Suddenly, his memories begin to resurface. Sadly, there is no part 2 as the movie did so poorly in the box office. It never picked up crazy momentum like Twilight, but it's definitely a better love story than Twilight.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.